You're staring at a shelf of TVs, scrolling through endless specs, and wondering if you're about to waste a big chunk of cash on something that won't fit your life. Maybe you've heard about OLED AI upscaling, Dolby Atmos, and thought, that sounds amazing, but will it actually make my movie nights and weekend gaming sessions feel better, or am I just buying hype? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I get that hesitation, because a TV lives in the room where you unwind, entertain friends, and sometimes even work, so picking the wrong one can feel like a permanent mistake. Let's talk about the LG 48-inch class OLED evo AI Super Upscaling C5. At first glance it reads like a marketing collage. Alpha 9 AI processor Gen 8, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, Filmmaker mode, a wow Orchestra sound label, Alexa built-in, and the familiar WebOS platform. Those buzzwords can feel overwhelming, so I'm going to break down what they really mean when you press play on a Netflix documentary, fire up a fast-paced shooter on your console, or just flip through a streaming service after work. Picture quality is the first place OLED really separates itself from LED-based panels. The perfect black claim isn't just a tagline. OLED pixels turn off individually, so dark scenes in a thriller or the night sky in a space documentary truly disappear without a gray halo. In a small to medium room, say a bedroom or a cozy living area, the contrast feels almost cinematic. Color accuracy also stays close to the source material thanks to the Alpha 9 AI processor. The chip analyzes each frame, lifts detail in low-resolution streams, and then remaps the colors so they stay true to the director's intent. I've watched a 1080p classic that I thought was already pretty good, and the upscaled version on this set actually revealed texture in the background that I'd never noticed before. If you're a gamer, the ultimate gaming badge matters. The panel supports HDMI 2.1 with a 120Hz variable refresh rate, and the input lag drops into the low single-digit range once you enable game mode. In practice that means when you're playing a competitive shooter or a fast-paced racing title, the on-screen action feels snappy and the motion stays smooth, even when the frame rate spikes. The TV also supports G-Sync compatible variable refresh, so you won't get tearing if you pair it with a compatible PC. For a 48-inch screen that sits about 3 to 4 feet away, the visual immersion is surprisingly strong without feeling like you're staring at a wall. Smart features are where WebOS shines. The AI search and concierge function learns what you watch, then surfaces new shows or movies that match your taste without you having to type a single word. Alexa is baked in, so you can dim the lights, check the weather, or add items to a shopping list while the picture stays on. The interface is clean, and the remote has a point-and-click wheel that feels intuitive after a few minutes. In my own experience, the biggest convenience was using voice control to switch from a YouTube tutorial to a Netflix binge without pausing the remote. Now, let's get realistic about the downsides. First, the price point for a 48-inch OLED is still higher than many 55-inch LED models, so you have to be comfortable paying a premium for the picture quality and features. Second, OLED panels historically have lower peak brightness than the brightest LED backlit TVs, which can become noticeable in a sunlit room with large windows. If you plan to watch TV in a space that gets direct sunlight all day, you might find the highlight detail in a HDR sports broadcast a bit muted. Third, there's the classic OLED burn-in risk. While LG has added pixel shift and screensaver technologies that mitigate it, if you regularly leave static logos, think news tickers, game HUDs, or a channel's watermark on the screen for hours, you could eventually see ghosting. For most casual viewers who watch varied content, this isn't a deal breaker, but heavy static UI users should consider a different technology. Who should actually consider this TV? If you're a cinephile who values deep blacks and accurate colors, and you typically sit a few feet away from the screen, the OLED experience will feel like a step up from anything you've seen on a standard LED. If you game on a next-gen console or a higher refresh-rate PC and you want a TV that can keep up without adding motion blur, the low input lag and HDMI 2.1 support make this a solid choice. Small apartments, bachelor pads, or dedicated home theater corners where you can control ambient light are ideal environments for a 48-inch OLED. Who might skip it? Families that want a large screen for group movie nights might find 48 inches a bit cramped, especially if you're sitting farther back. If your living room is bright and you don't want to invest in blackout curtains, an LED with higher nits might serve you better. And if you spend most of your viewing time on channels with static logos, sports tickers, or you're a heavy peak monitor user, the burn-in potential could be a